Hola, what's going on, everybody? Can you hear me? Check, check, check. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if everything sounds good. Does it look okay? I'm excited. It's Wednesday. Keeping it shrimple, episode number 42. Woohoo! Anybody? Anybody? Let me know. Let me change it from top chat to live chat. See if that makes a difference. Check, check. Hi, Dee Dee. Hello, Scott. What's up, Matt? Big Dog 35. I'm good. I'm good. All right. Cool deal. Cool deal. So I did a little thing. Jack in the shrimp tank. Hello. But I did a little thing. Um, so I'm going to share some video with you tonight. Um, just video of my shrimps. I kind of miss my shrimp room. If you haven't noticed, that's what I put on the thumbnail because yes, I do. I do miss it very much, and you'll see why. Because it's such a different dynamic. I mean, I have 20 plus shrimp tanks that I'm working on at the shop, but it's way different than having my shrimp tanks right here and being able to just stare at my shrimp tanks without doing anything at all, just enjoying and getting video and stuff like that at the shop. I always feel like if I'm sitting there staring at the aquariums, just checking everything out, Jason walks in there and looks at me like, what's Jerry doing? What's up, Mandy? Zen Ginger in the house. Joe Stanley, what's going on? Hello, Dennis Christensen. Sketty Nana. Nona. Nana. That's so weird. I don't know how to pronounce things. Let's see. What did Matt have to say here? I've been spending a lot of time with my fish lately trying to drown out the noise. I've missed them. Yeah, that's like I said. Hey, Joseph, that's weird. I love shrimp. Is it your birthday today? Today is today your birthday, or is it coming up soon? Because I know we're gonna celebrate a little bit at Alcochella together. At least have a little bit of a happy birthday cheer for each other. I'm turning 53, so ugh, crazy number. But hey, I made it. Woohoo! Thank you, Didi, but not really happy. Oh, sorry to hear that. That sucks. Hi, Gina. Good to see you. But yeah, it's totally different environment, perspective, dynamic, the relationship that you have with your aquariums. I know I have a unique one, at least I think so, because I'm a fanatic. Um, I mean, it's when I say I love shrimp, it's not just something I'm saying. I mean, obviously, my whole life is pretty much revolves around shrimping, keeping shrimp, breeding shrimp, filming shrimp, talking shrimp, because I love shrimp. Oh, how funny. I relate, my friend. Keep your head up. Oh, I am. I am. It's one of those things that I definitely I definitely miss it. And again, you'll see why, because some of the video that I got over the past year in my other place, um, it's just wow. No wonder it's so relaxing and peaceful. And like I said, it's what I love to do, and I do what I love. So gotta have fun. Let's see. He said earlier that today is his B-day, so I put his butt on the count. Ah, I see. Did you talk to Jason about getting his butt back on YouTube? He's probably watching. Well, at least on the replay if he doesn't watch it live. I know he sometimes lurks on the replay. Um, but yeah, um, I'm sure, at least I believe, that once we get done with Aquashella and settle down a little bit, I think we'll start seeing more from him. But the shop has been keeping him super busy, the print shop side, anyways. Um, and then plus trying to take care, he pretty much takes care of all of the order stuff, all of the customer service stuff with any of the customers. I don't really know if there's any deaths or not unless it's something major and he tells me, or I screw up and put the wrong thing in the bag, which I have to admit, yes, I do that sometimes. um, then he had to explain to me the difference between ram's horn snails and trumpet snails, because apparently I got a couple of orders that every time it said ram's horn snails, for whatever reason, my brain said trumpet snails, and I sent them trumpet snails. So, oops. So he had to go over that with me. I felt like such a tool because he was like, okay, so these are ram's horns and these are trumpets. Can you tell the difference? uh, I love my wall of guppies, but I'm liking my shrimp even more and more every day. See, same, same. It's just not the same sitting there staring at a tank full of guppies versus a tank full of shrimp. I don't know what it is about the shrimp. Maybe it's the way they swim around. Maybe it's the way they pile up on each other. It's just, I don't know. It's fascinating and it's very addicting. In that case, okay, Jadren Aquatic, get back on YouTube. Okay, there you go. Jason, we love your style and eat your passion for fish. There you go. Hit him up. Let's get him out from lurking. Hi, Annette. How you doing? Let's see. Jason, did you bag the shrimp? Papa. Yeah. Here they are, Jason. Jerry, those are guppies. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Um, I've just made a few mistakes, and I don't know. I kind of get in a zone once I go into the shop because I'm pretty much by myself, and all I listen to are the bubbles of the aquarium because bad internet connection in there. So when I originally set it up, I was hoping to have like a TV so I could be watching YouTube and be chatting while I'm doing stuff, but nah, that doesn't work. So I sit in there pretty much. I get in a zone and I build my boxes. I put the insulation. I bag the orders. Sometimes I get a little bit distracted, too much in the zone, and then I'll be looking at the order and it'll say that I need 2 pairs of something. And I'm looking at my tub of whatever it is that they need and it's empty. And I'm like, so then I go back to the previous order and I'm like, oops, I put the wrong set of pairs in there. And then I have to fix it. But normally I catch myself. So I've been pretty good about it. I don't think I've done anything shipping wise that's too crazy. But then I also find myself while I'm walking around, I'll see a shrimp swimming by in one of the shrimp tanks. So then I'll find myself just sitting there staring. I got to get my shrimp time in. So I do find myself staring at the shrimp tanks a little bit. And then I have to, oh, wait, go back to work, go back to work. So it's crazy. Eric Wyrock, what's up? We're nerds. Good morning, everybody. And Papa Shrimp says Barbara Jackson. Street Trash, hello. Yo. Everybody saying hello. It's good to see you. My phone's dinging, so I'm gonna check it because it could be somebody important. It could be. Probably not. Oh no, I bet you I know what it is. I bet you I know exactly what it is. So I know people are going to Triple Crown this weekend. So all of you, safe travels. I hear there's some weather going on out there in that area, which is such a departure from the weather that we're having here. It's crazy to think that they're having flooding in certain areas. So for me here, it's definitely just hot, dry. Um, to think of storms and tornadoes and stuff like that. I'm praying for all of you that are going through that. That's crazy stuff. So if you're going to the Triple Crown and you're experiencing some weather issues in your travels, please be safe. Um, yeah, hopefully everybody makes it okay. But in my little part of the world, I'm getting ready for Aquashella. If you see on the bottom, I still left the little Aquashella graphic on there because that's what's coming up next week. And so I have a backdrop ready for the booth. I have business cards that I designed and sent to Jason because I want to have some business cards, especially for the vendors. So that way they have a way to get in touch with me if they want to get some of my shrimps. Um, let's see. I have some die cut stickers. I have some regular square stickers that Jason made for me. I got a bunch of those. Thinking about getting some magnets. I should have my t-shirts. Um, and I'm also hoping that I can talk to Jeff between now and Aquashella and see if he could do me a run of I Love Shrimp t-shirts because I want to have some of those as well. So yeah, I think my checklist is slowly getting checked off, but it's still, I know there's probably a million things I'm going to forget. And I have a feeling that I get there. We're probably going to get there Thursday to start setting up. I don't know how early we can start setting up, but it's probably going to be Thursday when we at least start getting things set up. And I'm probably going to be like, I need this and I need that because I'm going to have some goodies, to put on my table. Um, well, Jason's table, but he's given me a little section. So I have a little Papa Shrimp section. So cool. I'm somebody. Yay! I need a big Papa Shrimp shirt. I ought to do that. I ought to design one, go on Teespring and design it, and then order it for myself as a sample because it's like 50% off or something like that. I bet you I might, if I did it today, it'd probably get here before Aquashella. That'd be kind of funny. That would be kind of funny. But yeah, so that's whew, we got a ton of plants at the shop last week that I got in the tank, so we should have plenty of plants. I already talked to Sam, our breeder, about guppies. Depending on what my messages say, will determine what I will have as far as shrimp go. Good evening, Frank. Good to see you. All the way from NYC. You need Big Papa Shrimp shirt on the back. That's why they call me Big Papa. And then on the front, Papa Shrimp with your logo. I love it when you call me Big Papa. That's funny. Hey, Patty, how you doing? Good to see you. What's up, Papa? All the way from Queens. Awesome. New York strong. Hey, you know what? I don't care about all that northern, southern, Yankee, whatever. We're all people. And if you're a shrimp nerd and a fish nerd and you're hanging out with me, then you're good. In my book, you're good. I don't care what anybody else says. Us shrimp nerds got to stick together. Peplin, what's up? Daniel Velez, cool deal. Everybody's kind of, and I'm trying. So normally I get my little thumbnail and schedule my stream accordingly. But lately, if you haven't noticed, I've been really bad about it. And then I don't get it scheduled or have my thumbnail. I don't do it until the day of. So the past month, ever since basically I'm moved out and moved here, I've kind of been really bad with getting my thumbnails out. So if you don't get notifications, or you just have to remember on your own good memory that, hey, Papa Shrimp streaming, that's my bad, and I'm sorry. I got to get better. Got to get better at a lot of stuff. Um, this transition's kind of got me all discombobulated. So no excuses. I'm just being honest. It's just being plain freaking honest. Let's see. Yes, please don't listen to what others say about me. Not that it's lies, but it makes me look bad. Santa Doodoo, what's up? Long time no see. Good to see you. Forget the thumbnail. We're more of a middle finger crowd. Oh, okay. That's what I should just do. Just put the middle finger Wednesday night. Keeping it shrimple. That's funny. That's funny. So, are any of y'all in the chat? Listen to my Texas slang, y'all. Are any of you all traveling towards Triple Crown at the moment, or already there, or any of that? I imagine if you're not in the chat, then you're probably driving. And if it's like what I've heard, um, probably not watching YouTube and driving. Probably don't even have good connection if it's that bad. Joseph's lurking again. He might say hello. He might say hello. But why are we here? We're here because I like talking shrimps and I like talking aquariums. And unless you are lefty and you stream like 8 hours of your trip there, I know I came in at one point today and it was nothing because he was at a gas station. So he wasn't even in the shot. I think he was inside the store paying and getting snacks. I don't know. But it was kind of funny. And then I had it on mute by accident. So I put it on and I was like, boy, it's awfully quiet. And nobody's saying anything. He's just driving. And then I looked down and I was like, oh, I unmuted it. And I was like, oh, there it is. I know. Like I said, I've been a nerd. Only Oscars? Hello, how are you doing? Dee, are you still in here? How your shrimp doing? I know you got them yesterday. I saw that in the morning show when I was in the morning show that you got them. So glad that we made the decision to do it overnight instead of 2 days. But hopefully they acclimated well and they're all nice and happy for you. Say hello. What you talking about, Joseph? Everybody's saying hello to each other. But yeah, so missing my shrimp room. All of us have, like I said, unique relationship with our aquariums, whether it's because you have guppies or angels or plecos or plants or shrimp. It just, especially for me, I've leaned on aquariums and shrimp keeping so heavily over the past few years with all of the life challenges that I have had to face. And it's kept me on an even keel, or snails. Yes, true, Annette. Sorry about that. Can't forget the snails. But yeah, so I don't know. It's kept me sane, I guess is the right word. Um, I don't know why, but it's just one. You got to have snails for our puffers. Matt, shh, that's mean. That's okay. There's probably people that breed shrimp to feed them to their fish. Why not? Um, Especially as prolific as they are of a breeder. Um, so yeah, I figured tonight because okay, so I don't know if any of y'all were on the stream Tuesday morning on the morning show. I shared my story with Jess because I was very, very, very upset. I was about to get my computer and just chunk it and be done with it. I was so angry, and you want to know why? Hey, Thunder, what's going on? So, let me tell you why I was so upset. Over the past month, since I transitioned everything over to the shop at Jadren's, I tore down all my shrimp tanks, my guppy tanks, my clown killifish tanks, caudapunks, everything that I had, and transitioned what I could over to Jason's as far all of the livestock. And some of it I sold off. And in the process, I'm setting up nano tanks at the shop. I need more space and I have little projects I want to do. So I'm using a part of the shop for my nano tanks and my clown killifish. So I did some filming of setting up my clown killifish tanks, the new breeder tanks, and the other nano tanks that it's going to go along with that little project. And it was a lot of video that I edited it down, and I decided I wanted to make it kind of quick. I wanted to make like a nano video, so I made it less than 6 minutes long, and it was about an hour or so worth of video. And I edited it down, got the video portion right. Once I did that, then I started going in and putting in all the transitions, um, making sure the order or the timeline was correct. I put in graphics as far as, text and different stuff just to help explain. And then also, when I do that first, it makes it a lot easier if I do a voiceover to kind of have a script to go along with the timeline, if that makes any sense. So I had felt pretty good. I was proud of myself for having learned these little tricks that help me. Now, it may not help you, but they help me when I'm doing the videos. And slowly I started getting it down to the final to where I could do the audio. Well, then I started having problems with my computer. It wasn't saving the files, so I had to delete a bunch of stuff. Then I did the voiceover and started editing that. I again ran into memory problems because I needed to delete some files. It ended up that I went and just deleted a bunch of files thinking I don't need these anymore. I got them in my video. Delete, 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 delete. Yes, I want to permanently delete. Well, my entire video was still linked because I hadn't exported it yet. So I lost that entire video. Uh, so I was pretty angry. Um, it's one of those, oh, oh no, all that work, all that trouble. So I got to start over. I want to get another clown killifish video going on the little setup that I did because obviously that video gets watched the most out of all of my videos. The clown killifish videos are the ones that are constantly being watched, other than my streams. And well, I haven't really done much on the shrimp videos, but yeah, the clown killifish win. They win. Why do I think this is going to turn dark soon? It didn't turn dark, did it? It's like berry Amano shrimp. They just make little shrimp for fish food, right? Yeah, it sucks. It was, trust me, I was so close and I had like 30 seconds left of audio to edit. So I was down to the end of the video, the last edits, and I would have been done and I would have exported it. Oh, that's so frustrating when that happens. So frustrating. Oh, you lost some videos is all? Thank goodness you don't need any more drama, Papa. Yeah, right. I know. No, it wasn't that bad. It was just one of those things. Like I said, when especially the way I do it and how much time I had already put in because I was like I said, I was trying to make it a quick nano video, but I also had a lot of information I wanted to cover, had some really good shots, but I wanted people to see how I set up my killifish tanks and having these brand new tanks, 2.5 gallons. It gave me a lot to play with. I had 5 of them that I have set up now because I wanted to have one with males, one with females, and then a couple of maybe 2 or 3 breeding pairs. And then I also want to have another tank ready so that way when the babies start coming, I can start pulling those out, putting them in the grow out tank. So I know I should back up to drop. I should do a lot of things. I know. I'm such an idiot sometimes, but yeah, lesson learned. The problem is that when I moved, I brought stuff with me that I knew I was going to need immediate access to. Everything else I put in storage thinking it's not going to be in storage for that long. So no worries. Well, my external hard drive's there, and that's where I normally dump all my files. But I haven't had it, and it's amazing how quickly you start eating up your disk space when you're doing high quality video. So, yeah, I'm learning. Got to learn the hard way sometimes. And you would figure at my age I'd know better. Hopefully, I don't make rookie mistakes at Aquashella again this year and film. I'm gonna be more focused and more intentional in what I do. My disk space is average. Let's not discuss it. Matt, so terrible. So, anyways, let's look at some video because this is a pretty decent video as far as time, and we can talk through it. I didn't put any audio or anything like that on it. All I did was just take some of my favorite shots of my shrimps over well past maybe includes past couple of years worth. All the different setups, all the different mosses. Yeah, the 4K takes up a lot of space, and that's what I've noticed is that like my phone, it automatically defaults so the video is high quality video, and I've noticed that like when I do stuff like this that I'm going to share on the streams, I know that I have to encode it down from the original source format to 720. And then that way I can show it on StreamYard without it looking like it's buffering. So yeah, I know it takes up a lot of space. And then when you do as much as I do, as far as like I said, when you have an hour and a half worth of 4K video that you edit down to 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I guess all of those files and me deleting and cutting and adding and moving it around, that takes up a lot of memory. Hold on a second. Excuse me. So I don't know if you guys remember this. This was one of my on my shrimp rack. It was the center one on the top row. Next to it was the extreme blues, and the other aquarium to the right of it was my clown killifish breeding. This one's some of the fish bones, and like I said, it's going to go through a bunch of different shots of the shrimp and the aquariums that I've taken over the past year to year and a half. Filming my guppies for 5 minutes, chasing them around, making sure I got all the good shots, and then went to check the video in my gallery and realized I'd taken a single still frame photo. I've done that too. You're thinking, oh, I got this, and then you go back and look, and it's just one shot. And some of these you might remember some of these video shots from me going over it in previous streams. Like I said, I took a bunch of the video clips that I had and shots of my shrimp room, um, so that way I can share it and show you why. Why do I miss? Because I miss sitting there staring at all of this. I mean, yeah, it looks so random, this tank does, but wow, this is where my extreme blues were, and wow, it was just an amazing tank, and it was a little shrimp factory. Those things were breeding like crazy. And then, of course, this one was where I originally had my PRLs before I moved them into the 20 long when I did the reset. Hopefully you remember those videos as well. But yeah, and then of course this moss. I love this moss tree. I love the way this moss was growing. Luckily, I've managed to salvage a lot of this moss that I'm growing out at the tanks we have at Jadren's. I might have a little bit of it with me at Aquashella to sell and share, but I don't know yet. The hooker moss, I sold a lot of my hooker moss, and the stuff that I kept, unfortunately, didn't like the transition. So I have a bunch of it that I'm working on to get it revived, if you know what I mean. So I'm working on that as well. But I miss that tank so much. I miss all my tanks. I miss my fish bones, and a lot of you that took advantage of the auction have some of these exact shrimp. You may have one of them in your tank when you took the shrimp from during the auction. I mean, like I said, I'm a nerd. I'm a big time shrimp nerd. I'm gonna make this a big picture. How do I do that? How do Yeah, there we go. And then I'm going to take the banner off so that way. Ooh, there you go. Nothing but shrimp. But yeah, so this is what I miss about having my shrimp room. To be able to sit there and get my camera out and just enjoy the shrimp, look at the different patterns, the colors. It's just so much fun. Yeah, those galaxy fish bones are awesome. And like I said, some of you have some. I think Dee Dee has a few. And I can't remember. I think Jeff, I believe Jeff King. I believe this was the reset on the PRL tank. I love this tank too. It was so pretty, very simple, but very pretty. These were some of the tanks that I had reset, redone, and started transitioning shrimp into these tanks, including the blues. Got them out of the other tank, put them in here. Had tigers, PBLs, Royal Orange Eye Royal Blues. I even had a guppy in this tank for a little bit to help get rid of some of the sea shrimp. And I knew that none of these shrimp were small enough to get eaten, so that's why I had them in there. This is an empty tank for showing this. That's how simple it is when I start a tank. Just substrate and a filter and let it run for a little while to cycle. Then I'll start adding stuff in there as far as mosses, plants, driftwoods. I'm real careful when I'm adding stuff into the tank. Adding stuff into a tank is always when you run into problems. These are just some really good shots that I got off of my phone. I mean, look at that. Beautiful. That's a fancy red tiger. Hey, Surf City, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Hello to all the fine fish people and shrimpy people and snail people and plant people. And if there's any, saltwater people lurking because you don't want to admit you like freshwater shrimp, that's okay. You can stay lurking. But yeah, that's one of the big things that's really discouraging about not being able just to go stare at my tanks. Aquatically inclusive. There you go, Nicole. I like that. Big words. Some of you might have this shrimp or some like it. Because I know also in the option, some of you took advantage of getting some of these fancy red tigers. Again, I couldn't help but share some of this video that I caught with my phone, just my phone. And not even a new fancy, A22 or iPhone 25 or whatever they're on. This is just a regular Samsung A32 phone. No macro lens, nothing crazy. I keep both fresh and saltwater shrimp. See, originally I'd wanted saltwater tanks so I could get into some of the really nice shrimp, and that was years ago. But I've always been afraid to go into saltwater. Look at that snowflake! Oh, so pretty. That's a high-end shrimp there. Of course, these PRLs. This food is I get it from Blue Crown Aquatics, and it's just called shrimp food. But the shrimp love it. They just love it. I want to try some of Shrimp Envy's food. I've been eyeing that stuff for years. I think I'm going to finally take the plunge and get some of it and try it out. I'd love to be able to do both saltwater and freshwater, but my addiction to shrimp kind of forces me to stay focused. I'm such a nerd. I don't have any cool looking shrimp. Blue Dreams are my prettiest. I'm not doing all the RO work. And my liquid rock isn't Caradina friendly. Oh, I get it. You're in Texas, right? So yeah, hard water. Now I get it. Trust me, I do. And I don't know. I used to not want to switch over to Caradinas for the same reason, but now that I have, I actually find it so much easier this way. So it kind of sometimes lends me to believe that I could probably get away with doing a saltwater tank if I took the time to do it. I could probably learn it. But that again, it's very expensive. Just really cool stuff to see. Again, I just when I messed up on my video the other day, that was something that I was going to do. I was just gonna put a video of nothing but shrimp. No words, no graphics, no editing, just a video of my shrimp because I miss them. Papa, you'll have to try some of the Mystery Snail Guardian shrimp sticks when they hit the market. Yes, I will. I'd love it to try it when you send me some. That would be cool. Hint, hint. Yep. And a municipal utility district. So they add all kinds of treatment stuff. 330 TDS on a good day. Expensive to start, rewarding for a long time after. I know. Yeah, and you're 100% correct, man. I get it because it's the same thing with if I was to sit down and tabulate how much money I've put into my shrimp. You want to talk expensive? You want to talk about the way that I've done things, which I have to admit I did a lot of things wrong. Yeah, I've spent a lot of money. It's been very expensive because of some of the choices that I've made. Um, but you live and you learn, right? What is my TDS at? Surprisingly, at the shop now that I'm out there in Mansfield in the shop, city water, surprisingly, the water comes in at about 120 TDS, really low, which I was really surprised at. But the KH and the what do you call it, chloramines and chlorine are just horrible. When I was in the northern part of Dallas Fort Worth area before the house fire, my TDS out of the tap was at about 375 to 575. It depended on what day of the week it was, honestly. So yeah, it was all caridina, neocaridinas that I kept, and then I got my RO unit so that way I could start keeping caridinas. But I stay with generalized parameters in case you're wondering. I will. It makes my head hurt thinking of the money spent. Oh, dude, tell me about it. Um, Especially when I first started, I had a air pump for every tank. So when I had 26 tanks, I finally learned to get the bigger air pumps and split them up with little what you call them, the little knobby thingies. I know the word, I just can't think of it. But I'd set it up with that, so I'd use one um, 40-gallon whisper pump for 3 tanks, and so I had a bunch of those, a light for each aquarium, heaters, canister filters, just the amount of money I spent was ridiculous. And when I had the house fire and I ran my aquariums for 2 months with no lights, no electricity, no nothing, and everything survived. Yeah, gang valves. But when I did all of that after the fire, I was like, man, what a waste of money the way that I did things. So I haven't set it up that way ever again. I keep on learning. And that's the good thing, as much as it is a bad thing, but it's a good thing about what I've been through and having to reset and rebuild over and over and over. I'm getting really confident in my ability to set up tanks and get them going rather quickly because, yeah, knobby thingies. That's the right word. um, but yeah, I've learned a lot. setting up, and I've because of the mistakes I've made and the money that I've lost learning these valuable lessons, which come about from mistakes. Yeah, I feel pretty good. You know, it's basically like I'm paying for my own coursework in a university. So you got to look at it that way. It's money well spent. It's an investment in my education and knowledge when it comes to shrimp. Yeah, I'll put it that way. Okay, it sounds much better that way. Oh, that's crazy. Whew. But yeah, I mean, look at all these different setups and tanks that I had. This setup here that we're looking at right now, this was before the house fire. Yellow King Kong. What is a good mix with it? I don't know what is a good mix with it. I think that's, when you start getting down into the what plus what equals what, um, that's more in the, that's like Grant's ballpark. He's very knowledgeable on the what plus what makes what. I'm more of a guy that if I had yellow King Kongs and I wanted to see what I could mix with it, I'd probably put it in with, ooh, I'd probably do like an orange eye blue tiger and a yellow King Kong and see what happens. You know, that's kind of what I would do. It's kind of like this right here. These are a result of the tangerine tiger and the extreme blues. That's what I ended up with. Failure is our best teacher. I love that you are going to be sharing your knowledge. Thanks. Awesome. Thanks, Bunny Viper. I mean, and what do I have that's worth sharing? I don't know, but I keep on trying. I keep making mistakes, and I keep sharing. I call it live art. Yeah, there you go. That's a good way to put it. Live art, because that's kind of the way I do things in my Skittles tanks, or my science projects, where I'm like, "Ooh, what can I mix with what? And let's see what happens." Now, trust me, there is a downside to doing it that way, because then you know, you're kind of just closing your eyes and throwing a dart and hoping it sticks somewhere. But sometimes, again, accidents sometimes end up being the best thing ever. So, hi Jess, how you doing? Living art, live art. Yeah. When I'm doing stuff like this one, when I was intentionally breeding these fish bones, yes, there was a different way that I was doing it, but it wasn't a matter of I was mixing anything to get anything. I had good quality fish bones that I selectively culled and tried to stabilize that line more and more. And these are these that I'm showing right now is after the fire. So that's a pretty long time I've been keeping those fish bones to have what I had in the other videos that was just from my recent shrimp tanks in my other place. The colony was thriving, and then it was kind of hurting, and then it was thriving, and then it was kind of hurting. So every time I've moved it, even this move, it put a hurt on my colony, um, and my colonies. But as you can see, I've had a little bit of everything. I have some Bavaltis, some Pintos, some Santa Claus super crystals. Um, yeah, a little bit of everything. I haven't had Siluaces yet. I'd really like to get into those, but again, a lot of this stuff that I want to do is just, it's gonna have to be when I have something more permanent. And every shrimper knows it takes consistency and stability to build your colonies up to the numbers, um, that you need them to. I just love some of this video. So awesome. All with the phone. I did that scientist thing in my 20s with chickens on a farm. Shrimp tank, shrimp tank, shrimp tanks. Yeah, I love my shrimp tanks. I always got to have them. It's my zen. Ooh, look, Stephen P. 2003. Lurking. Shh, Steven's here. Stop talking about him. Looking forward to next weekend. It's going to be fun. You're on your way out there to Louisville, aren't you? Stephen P., aren't you going to Triple Crown? Or have you already gotten there? Or I was just wondering because of the weather. You got stung by yellow jackets about 10 times when today working? Oh no, that sucks. Are you going to be on the Aquatic Morning Show tomorrow with swollen face? Bee stings everywhere. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not funny. Yeah, it is. How funny. Yep. I was waiting. That's hilarious. Yeah, I'm kind of giving everybody a break from my ugly face and just showing just shrimp. Hoping you can enjoy it just like I do. Showing off my shrimp nerdiness. And I don't know where this got in there. Oops. I left a still in there. You got Mickey Mouse hands? Big old balloon fingers. Awesome. Thanks, Bunny. I appreciate it. Like I said, I just wanted to put some stuff together. I got to fast forward past this if I can. Oh, no, it's over. That's why it's so still. Yay. Good job. Dun, dun, dun. I'm back. That's how I usually am in front of my aquariums. My shrimpies. Which reminds me, I can't believe y'all let me forget. How did y'all let me forget?
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
This is so much fun. You're very welcome. Like I said, I wanted to share that with you because, you know, I was so happy with the way things were going in that shrimp room as far as my shrimp were all breeding. I was having really good success. The mosses and just the aquascapes and resets that I was doing had really, it had, I don't know, I guess opened my eyes to different ways of doing things. And like I had said in those streams back then when I was doing all these resets, is that I think that sometimes we get stuck in our ways of doing things. And that could be a detriment to our ability to have an open mind and learn different things, especially with the different products and the kind of new but old school ways that have merged into a new school type of way to do things. It's just repackaged. It's basically like all our movies that we watch that are all regurgitated ideas from the past, but now we're watching the third or fourth version or attempt to try to tell that story better. Same thing that is going on with the technologies and the different types of equipment that we're using. uh, it's just all of this stuff. I think it constantly evolving. So being able to look at these videos and look back on how I have, as much as I try to do things a certain way, but I'm also not getting stuck in doing it a certain way. because I can't. I have to tear down and set up again. So okay, well, let me try this. And I take advantage of those opportunities. So I'm just glad that I get to share all of that with everybody and continually learn. I get to hang out with cool people that know a lot more than I do. All of the shrimp guys that I'll be hanging out with at Aquashella, the other judges, getting to meet some of the breeders, especially the local breeders. I want to get to know the local breeders around Dallas, Fort Worth, because I'd like to this year see if I can get out and do some shrimp room tours because there's some really awesome setups out there. They make me really jelly, but there's some awesome setups out there, and I'd love to give them some recognition and show them off a little bit because I don't have my setup anywhere near where I want it to be. So I might as well go check out some other really cool shrimp setups and maybe learn a thing or two or 12. Always looking forward to learning. Yes, I'm a total fish nerd. I know. Alan Tooth, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. How you doing? Am I 100% sold on the new fluval bio substrate? So far, yes, Frank. So far, 100% sold on it for my fish. For my shrimp, I'm still okay. I'll put it to you this way. I'm not sold 100% on the kind of implied instant cycle. Um, it's definitely worked out for the fish and all the clown killies. None of those tanks have any issues, no cloudiness, no algae blooms, nothing that it's typical with just straight fluval. But with the shrimp, the Caradina shrimp, I still think you need a good cycle or two before you start putting some shrimp in there. So, like I said, but as far as using it, the color, everything about it, it's amazing. And in the video that I lost, I had shown how I filled it up with no washing of the substrate, and it's 100% crystal clear water. The only thing, and here's a little tip, and I'll share it with you now. But a little tip: the reason why I do it so slow, I use an air hose or the RO line type hoses, but I use that to drip in the water so I can adjust the flow rate. I'll do it slow enough to where it won't disturb the substrate, no washing of the substrate, like I said. And as it slowly fills, all of the filmy stuff, all of the debris, all of that stuff kind of sticks on the top. So when you get it to the top, as long as you don't have any agitation of the water, like running a filter while you're filling it, but if you let it fill up, you can take and skim all of that junk off the top. And I believe that is one of the reasons why your water is so cloudy upon fill up, is because of all of that stuff that if you normally fill it up at a high rate, it's going to disturb all of that. It's going to make all that stuff get in the water column. Whereas if you fill it up slowly and you just skim it off the top, it never gets mixed into the water. And that's why my water's not cloudy. So, Frank, I hear that it's not so good for shrimp. Well, that's what I'm saying. Now, the regular fluval stratum, I use it all day long. I have no issues with it. And I don't think I have any issues with this one either. But especially because I mix it, I use a combination of both. I just think to me, that makes the most sense because of the nutrients that I in the stratum versus the nitrifying bacteria in the biostratum. I use both, and then my mosses are happy, my livestock's happy, and the water's kept at a less than neutral pH. Um, you look very familiar. Hi, Todd. How you doing, Mr. Guitar Player? But So far, the jury's out as far as the biostratum and my caridina shrimp, but everything else is, like I said, my clown killies are extremely happy. I've had no water clarity issues. And I do have a few shrimp in the tanks now after about a month of those tanks being set up. But it's just a few. I'm just testing it out right now. So we'll see. I completely agree, Jerry. I just reset one of my shrimp tanks and I used the regular stratum and I just trickled it in and also used an Asian undergravel filter. I trickled it into the filter. Yeah, it's not cloudy at all. You just skim the stuff off. Um, so and you probably missed it, Alan. Excuse me. You probably had missed it when I had talked about a couple of streams ago of my idea of trying to re redesign, not really redesign, but doing an Asian underground filter system, but using a box filter as your holding device instead of actually building a glass box or a divider in your tank with the undergravel filter apparatus and et cetera, et cetera. If you use a box filter and instead of putting filter media inside of it, you just use stratum or an active substrate, it should accomplish the same thing. Let's see. Sorry about that, Nicole. Okay, I'm finally sitting. Golly, it's effing hot out here. Getting excited about my first aquashella and meeting some of y'all. Been listening to the same people so long, it feels like a tiny family. Yep. Looking forward to seeing you. And we have, like I said, we're going to have a big booth this year. So it's two booths worth. So it's a 10 by 20, I guess, instead of just a 10 by 10. So we'll have shrimpies, we'll have shrimp goodies, should have some filters, remineralizers, shrimp foods, shrimp nets, bio balls, and then of course our guppies, our plants, our mosses, and shrimpies. And I'm probably going to take some spider wood, see if anybody wants some spider wood. They're all small pieces because that's all I order. Hit the like button, y'all. Thank you, Jess. Are you going to join me in the morning? Well, if that's an invitation. Is that an invitation? Of course. Yeah, I probably will. I don't think if I do go to the shop, it'll be later. It won't be in the morning. I don't think. It all depends. It all depends on what my messages say when I read them. So, of course it is. Aw. It's funny you say that. I actually purchased two on Amazon, and they're just the old-fashioned square box filters. I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to use it on my next tank that I'm setting up tomorrow. Yeah, that's like I said. I had that. Grant was on the stream when we were talking about it, because again, I do things my way, whether right or wrong. This is the way I learn. And I've been wanting to do an Asian undergravel filter and kind of get down to the nitty gritty of the why. Why is it better? Why does it work? Why is it just the same? I like to know the whys. So I did a lot of searching and trying to figure out what was the best way affordably that I could make it shrimple and do it without making it such a big, buy glass, cut it to this size, use this type of blah, blobbity, blobbity. And that's when I was like, light bulb, let me do the box filters and let me try it that way. And I did try it that way in my aquariums right before I did the teardown. I had box filters with substrate in it, but I never really got a chance to check results, obtain data, all that fun stuff. But I do believe that if I get my brain thinking, it should accomplish the same thing that an Asian undergravel filter system does. Because all you're really trying to do is get 100%, as much of 100% surface contact of the water flowing around that substrate. That's what the undergravel filter and the Asian method does, is it lets more surface contact on that substrate to help buffer the water, instead of it just being the top layer of the substrate has surface contact and the rest is all, however deep you put it. Lots of words, lots of words. What's a box filter? The box filters, it's those little plastic ones like you used to get in your aquariums when we were kids, that they sold them all the time. And they came with a little bag of charcoal that you'd pour in there, and then you'd put the filter floss on top, and then you'd put your airline in it, and it'd filter the water for you. And you'd have to change out that filter floss like every other day because it was always nasty. But I'm thinking do it the other way and just put substrate in it, and then you're accomplishing the same thing as the Asian undergravel filtration method. At least that's my thinking. Yet to be proven, but we will. We will find out one of these days. Jerry or anyone on this stream, have you tried out the Landon substrate for shrimp? I'm testing out now at cycling. I haven't tried any shrimp in it yet, but it's keeping it at a solid 5.5. Wow, that's interesting. I haven't really ever tried it. I've seen it and I've wanted to try it because it was a little bit less expensive than like fluval stratum. Fluval stratum to me is a little bit pricey. But because I've used stratum for so long and I've used it when I didn't know what I was doing, and now I feel like I know what I'm doing better, I'm very confident in using it. I've gained a comfort level using fluval stratum, and in some of my tanks, I am getting down to 5.6, 5.8 on my pH. Most of them, though, run at around 6.2 to 6.4 with my fluval stratum. So I'm happy with that. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Great idea. Box filter. Yeah. Yeah, that's those things that, like I said, instead of building one, I figured they're already being built. And then some of them come with the little filter pads that are already pre-cut. You can get those with all of that stuff in it. Chunk the filter media. Well, you don't chunk it. Put it in a box filter or something, or hang on the back filter or something that you have. Soup that one up. But take all of that stuff out and just fill it full of substrate, active substrate like stratum, and then put the cover back on with the thing and hook your air hose up. Boom. You should be basically a little effective water buffering system. Is basically, it's not really a filtration system. It's more of, again, I think the substrate will naturally filter it some, but I think what we're trying to accomplish by doing this is to allow more surface contact of the water through the substrate. Yeah, lots of words. I heard the reason it's better is because it allows more water to run over the substrate and change the pH quicker, and it's easy to change out when it expires. Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking, is if that is what the purpose of the Asian undergravel filtration system is, if that is the purpose, for it to have more surface contact with the substrate throughout the entire, however deep you make it, the water is flowing all the way through it. So the stuff on the bottom versus the stuff on the top is still getting 100% contact, whereas when you have it on the bottom of your tank, however thick you may have your substrate, the stuff on the bottom isn't really getting a bunch of water flow. Yes, it's in the water, so it's getting contact with it, but it's not being flow. It's not getting water flow through it. So I think this other method, that's what it does. It just creates more flowing water constantly touching the substrate, which makes it more effective to buffer. Let's see. Will you still have substrate when you use this? Yes, I would, because I like having substrate on it. Would you have to? No. And that's why, like, the serious breeders on the other side of the pond that use this style, they will have that section of it may be one granule thick and only covers like 3/4 of the bottom of the tank as far as there's open space. And I think that is because you don't want to have a big, thick substrate where all of the critters can hide and bad things. And then poop can accumulate and cause ammonia spikes. So, a lot of the things, the reason why they do it that way is for just better ability to maintain your tank and avoid ammonia spikes due to detritus buildup. Not really an undergravel filter. Right. No, I get it. And but it's using an undergravel filter, if it's using that old school technology. Let's call it a gravel as your filter grading system. It's a bioactive box filter. Yeah, kind of. See, now me, and I've seen it done several different ways, but me, I'd have a sponge filter for a biofiltration system. I'd have the undergravel filter the box filter to help buffer the water, and then a bunch of moss. And I think that creates enough. You got a little bit of a mechanical style filtration, you have a bio filtration, and then, of course, plants. Plants are always great for your biofilm and for all of your little microorganisms. Do you still have the orange eye red King Kongs? Yes, I do have some. Okay. Well, let me know. Just hit me up. Yeah, let me know about that landlord substrate. Like I said, I've had my eye on it for a while. I think Grant uses it or has used it. Um, but I just kind of stayed away from it because to me it seemed like it was more um, towards the plants. I never really paid attention to it as a shrimp substrate. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. I'm always interested in finding cheaper stuff, But again, the reason why I do a lot of what I do in the way that I do it is because, like fluval stratum, I know everybody is going to see fluval stratum at the pet store. They might not see land and soil or the ADA or Brightwell or any of the other types of active substrates that are out there. So, yeah, that's why I do it that way, because then I'm familiar with stuff and I know that if you're using Fluval, you can ask me questions because I'm familiar with it. If I'm using something that's very expensive, high end stuff, then you ask me questions about it. Um, it may, I may, you may not have relevant situations with Fluval or what you're using compared to. Anyways, I try to keep it shrimple. Just use what everybody else is using. What's up, Crypt Keeper? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? Woo! Hey, that reminds me. I'll do it again. Why not?
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
Woohoo! Glassbox and I are talking about the undergravel filter, not your box. I get you. I got you. Cool. Well, that's a good way to end the stream, episode number 42. Um, we're a little bit past the hour. It's 8:15. I want to say thank you to everybody that was here, all the mods, all the lurkers, all the chatters, shrimp nerds, um, all the replay crew. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for catching it on the replay. And let's see, anything that I'm missing right now. Oh yeah, if you're traveling to Kentucky, be safe. I hope we get some good video of stuff that's going on. Any of you that are out there, please share. Let's get the last few questions here. Also, I want to let everyone know and let you know that if you want an actual real Asian style filter box, Plansky Shrimp Farm is selling them. They're handmade by him and they're amazing. I have two. Oh, cool. Awesome. I love shrimp. I may have dozed off a bit. Oh. See ya, man. Y'all be good. I don't know much about them, but I know that I love shrimp. Cool deal. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you again next time. Peace out. I love shrimp, and thanks for keeping it shrimple.